Now, for a more continental perspective on the smart city question, we visit Kigali, Rwanda, the home of the head office of Smart City Africa, to discover the approach of Smart Africa Secretariat in assisting member states to implement smart cities initiatives. Smart Africa is an innovative commitment from African heads of state and government to accelerate sustainable socio-economic development on the continent, ushering Africa into a knowledge economy. With us today is Olivier Twagirayezu, Project Manager, Smart City and Smart Villages Initiative for Smart Africa, to share some insights into their journey to transform African cities into African smart cities. Welcome, Olivier.
Thank you, Davi. Glad to be here. My name is Olivier Twagirayezu. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you very well. And before I share the stage with you, maybe if you can explain a little bit what is your job, because it's a very long and interesting title.
Yes, thank you very much. So I'm the project manager in charge of Smart Cities and Smart Villages initiative at Smart Africa Secretariat. When I go through my presentation, I will also talk about what is Smart Africa Secretariat or Smart Africa Alliance in general. But the way we work, we have flagship projects, and each flagship project do have a specific project manager who follow the entire initiatives under it. So Smart Cities is one of the flagship projects under the Smart Africa Alliance. And Smart Village is also another one. And I take care of those two under Smart Africa.
Thank you very much, Olivier. The virtual stage is now yours.
Thank you very much, Ravi. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to join the team and the audience of Smart Cities Experience. So what I'm going to go through today is the Smart Africa's journey to transform African cities into smart cities. So as I was saying, my name is Olivier Twagirayezu. I take care of Smart Cities and Smart Villages initiative at Smart Africa. Before joining Smart Africa, I had the privilege to work on different smart cities projects across the world, mostly North America, Asia, and Africa. I've actually lived in Canada for more than 10 years before joining Smart Africa. And what I'm going to go through today with my presentation is 5 key points. What is Smart Africa Alliance, and what are the African cities challenges? Then I will go through what's the smart city concept, which way do we understand it? And finally, I will also show you the achievements that we've done as Smart Africa, the Alliance and the Secretariat, and also show you the pilot project. As Noah was mentioning about pilot projects, it's very important to go through this new phase of smart city concept together. And pilot project is actually the best way to show how we can scale up and transform our cities into smart cities. Starting, I want to give you a picture of the continent, how Africa is. I know that most people, quite a number of people that I've seen and that I've met outside of Africa, they don't seem to understand how Africa is made and why we go through the challenges we go through and what is the best way to resolve it. Africa have 55 states. The challenge right now is that all these, even though we have 1.2 billion people, but we have 55 regulations to every single thing. So if I have a good product in Rwanda, for example, it's very hard to sell it to Nigeria because of all these regulations in there. When I compare to North America, a place that I know very well, if somebody has an interesting product in New York, he can sell it the next day in California, which is the other end. So with that challenge, Africa, for example, like the intra-Africa trade in Africa is just 18%. Compared to Europe, that is 69%. And I'm pretty sure when I compare to North America, it's going to even be like North American will be very higher between state to state. So with all this, one of the approach of Smart Africa is to try and find which way all these 55 states can have similar policies or harmonized regulations that will allow the continent to actually advance as an entire continent instead of 55 different entities. So with that, I go to what is the Smart Africa Alliance? How did it start? The alliance by itself started back in 2013, and it was endorsed by 7 heads of state. It started in Kigali, then it was scaled to the entire continent. From that time, the year after, in January 2014, it was endorsed by the African Union. So all the 55 states could back the manifesto. And the idea of the manifesto is basically to create an alliance that will help the continent to put ICT at the center of the National Socio-Economic Development Agenda, and to improve ICT, especially the infrastructure, because that's the challenge. So the continent needs a good broadband. The infrastructure needed to be strong. The other principle was that through ICT, we can improve on accountability and efficiency. And then through all this, the private sector have to come first. And this is the way that the manifesto shows that ICT can promote sustainable development on the continent. So what's the mission and the vision of Smart Africa or the Alliance? The goal and the #1 vision and mission is to transform Africa into a single digital market by 2030, which will allow, again, a product that will be created in Mali can be sold in Kigali the next day. I'm talking about digital products. So we want to make sure that the entire continent can have harmonized regulation and policies that help to develop the continent using ICT, and smart cities is also part of it. Then what we have so far we have officially 30 member states out of the 55, and that represents a market of about 50 million people. So all these are under the alliance right now, and more are joining. And on top of that, just to show how the entity is organized or managed, each head of state of a member state becomes directly a board member. And so far, the board of Smart Africa is chaired by His Excellency Paul Kagame, the President of Rwanda. And also, we do work with other international organizations, development partners. We do work with International Telecommunication Organization. You can see ITU, GSMA, ICANN. And we do also work with international financing organizations. So World Bank, African Development Bank, all these are partners of Smart Africa, and they help us to go through the journey. And we do have and welcome all the time private sector members. You can see companies that you are aware of. You are aware of Facebook, Ericsson, Huawei, Inmarsat. Some of these already worked in other countries, but they are also part of the alliance, and we always welcome new members. So that's it about the alliance and how it is. Let's now talk about the African Cities Challenge. Now, what is expected? By 2050, Africa is expected to double in population. We are 1.2 billion. By 2050, it's expected to be 2.5 billion people. And 70% of that growth will happen in cities. There comes the idea and the pressure for government to make sure that they implement good smart cities initiative so they can manage that growth, that pressure. So this is why African cities need to transform into smart cities. Right now, worldwide, we do have challenges in our cities. More cars are getting on the road every day. Energy consumption is becoming a problem, and actually 75% of the produced energy in the world is consumed in the city, which creates somehow an unlevered land where in terms of the use of energy. We have water loss, leakages everywhere. You know, for people who are in Canada, we know how when winter comes, all these all these breaks of gas or water on the road because of storms or ice. So all these require smart cities initiative and the technology behind it to make sure we can be better. And also the pollution, waste management is a problem in Africa, is a problem worldwide. We are just trying to get better and better every day. This is also part of the smart cities. One thing to understand is that smart city, it's not about just technology. For any smart city initiative to succeed, it has to put the people at the center of everything. The way that we define of the definition that we like about the smart city concept is that a smart city is the one that leverages the power of technology, data, and innovation to improve the quality of life and residents and to coordinate integrated urban management sectors. That's how we look at it. And when it comes to what have we achieved as Smart Africa Secretariat at this time, with the way we work in order to harmonize, we always start by creating a blueprint to any flagship project. We create a blueprint for the entire continent, and then each country can now create their national strategy. So in this case, the Smart City National Strategy is based on the blueprint. The idea is that by the end, we do have countries that have similar regulation and policies given an area, in this case for smart cities. So back in 2017, Rwanda and Smart Africa assisted Rwanda to produce the blueprint for the entire continent for smart cities as one flagship project that is championed by Rwanda. And following that, some other achievements have been done. As of now, 5 new countries have had their smart city national strategies, which we also call smart cities master plans, which means that any project, any pilot project that succeed in any of the 5 countries at this point can be exported into another country and just adjust the local context. But since it's all based on the same plan, all based on the same regulations, it's so easy to basically transport from one country to another. And the goal is actually to get all the 30 member states and more to have similar regulations. That's where we are right now. And in our everyday life, we work with development partners and just looking for which way can we help the countries to get on stage. Smart cities is one flagship of Smart Africa. We do have many other, but the concept is the same. And this is how we think we can get to our mission. And I want to also talk about the pilot project. What have we done so far? Right off now, we've done a numerous pilot project supported by Smart Africa and partners in public transportation, in transportation like taxi. Something that people living in North America don't know is that motorcycle can do taxis. Down in Africa, you see this a lot. So these also are some of, we've included some technology to just make sure we can see how this can be better. We have a similar application like Move from Volkswagen is very similar to Uber or Lyft. And e-government, then the building permits, then in Africa, actually, even here in Rwanda, the blood, for hospital is delivered by drones. That's also another smart city pilot project that have been successful and is now going to be scaled to other countries. And right currently, Smart Africa is now supporting Rwanda for a pilot project into smart waste collection and management in the city of Kigali, and also into which way to implement a smart cities and communities command and control center. So that gives an idea of what we do, what we have done, and why we do it. The whole goal is, again, the mission of Smart Africa is to transform Africa into a single digital market. And we do this by going through different projects, and smart cities is part of it. So in terms of the journey, this is basically what we have done as Smart Africa, and continuing. Basically, we want to do more pilot projects. We want to get more countries to join. And we also want more national strategy into smart cities. And we want the support of everybody, and we want to learn from everybody. So thank you very much. And I'm ready for the questions now. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Olivier, for your presentation. We have the time for 2 questions. So the first one would be, what are the major challenges you face with different regulation and governments by collaborating with other countries?
Yeah, thank you very much. So, the major challenge is the understanding. Smart city is a new concept, and people tend to confuse everything smart by technology. Yes, technology is involved, but also people need to understand that it's about the people, not just about the technology. So the challenge number one right now is to find which way we can break the barriers and making sure that the entire continent or all the member states basically harmonize their policies. This is why we go by blueprint and then national strategy. Thank you.
It's true that at the center there's the human, it's the citizens, and it comes from the other question that I would have for you is, concerning your upcoming projects, you're talking about data centers, data collection, and I think it's universal. We all have that a specific field that we want to know more. So what's happening on your side in Rwanda with the data collection and the governance of data?
Oh, so guess what? We are Rwanda by itself, right? I wouldn't talk about Rwanda as the government, because even though we are headquartered in Rwanda, but we are very different from, we are a different entity. But into the initiative that Smart Africa have supported, the data collection part is there as well. When you come to e-government projects that are under smart cities, data needs to be there. Like in Rwanda, for example, actually in this time of COVID-19, the Rwandan government is one of the African governments that were able to keep on operation because of the e-government services that are very advanced. So data is collected with sensors. Data is also collected with the manual way. Basically, anything about the population is basically a questionnaire, then you get the answers into the system. But as we go through right now, we are helping out with smart waste management. This will be using sensors that can now inform and collect data on every day, which will help authorities to now know what's going on with waste management in the city, so they can project and adjust everything accordingly. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Olivier. Can we follow you or follow the Smart Africa? Do you have a Twitter, a LinkedIn account?
Yes, we do. And everything, especially for Smart Africa, everything is Smart Africa on LinkedIn or Twitter. Twitter is Real Smart Africa. LinkedIn is Smart Africa. You can always follow. For me, it's so easy. You go by my name on LinkedIn, you find me, and then I can direct everybody to Smart Africa if needed. And also, feel free to reach out. Basically, LinkedIn is the platform that I use the most. I'm on Twitter as well, using the same name. And Smart Africa is on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, using Smart Africa or Smart Africa Secretariat.
Thank you very much for your time, Olivier.
Thank you very much. I'm glad. Thanks for your time too.